Well, good morning. How you doing? Good morning. How you doing? God, I'm gonna be completely upfront with you. I can't seem to look straight at the camera, even when I'm looking straight at the camera, because the camera's like that way, and if I face straight, I'm going that way, and it's one of the pleasures of filming from my phone. So good morning to you. I've got my coffee here. I'm probably going to take things very slowly this morning. And I'm probably going to be naming this video, to be honest, I think I've just about had it. Because I kind of feel like I have. I went for my walk this morning, walked 3.5 miles around my neighborhood and down the Santa Ana River Trail, and just trying to build my energy, trying to get ready for the day. And I have been no, let's not go that way. I'm trying to keep one straight narrative, even though my brain is all over the place. So I was out walking, and when I'm out walking, I always wear this, my buff. I always wear my buff because my hair goes everywhere, right? So when I got back, I thought, well, I would take off the buff, brush my hair, typical, all the normal things I do before I film this, which takes a whole, I got to move furniture, and it's kind of crazy. But I thought, wouldn't it be fun to take off my buff for you after my walk so you can see just how crazy my hair gets. This is not done in any way to facilitate weight loss. You shouldn't have eaten just before watching this, because it could be, your reaction could be rather violent. I know mine is. But the thing is the buff keeps my hair out of my face, and I love that. So we're just gonna rip it off like a Band-Aid. Ready? Whop. Oh yeah, it's awful. So I brought my brush, and we're just gonna brush the hair today. I don't know when I'm ever going to get my hair cut, but I will tell you this. I know that the longer my hair gets, it's pulling my brow is, I might as well be going bald at this point, because you could put a billboard right here. Here, Ken, I want you to put a billboard right there, right here. There you go. That is a Jack Nicholson size forehead right there. That's real estate. And that's all I had for today. You take care of yourself.
And that's it. Thanks for coming around, and I hope you subscribe, click the like button, and connect with me on all that social media business on the screen.
I've been reading a lot about rates of depression that have been increasing. Suicide rate has been going up. People have been having a hard time. Can't imagine why. People have been having a really hard time with this pandemic. Go figure. The funny thing about a pandemic is they happen so rarely that it's hard to know what's normal. Fortunately, we're going into a period where we're going to have lots of pandemics soon, so we'll be able to really get our minds wrapped around what living through a pandemic is like, and for when the next one arrives. But I've been reading a lot about, seeing a lot in the news, I should say, about depression, probably because I've been feeling a little depressed myself. Just getting through this slog of a year. Hold on. I haven't had a bad year. I'll be honest with you. I've written a couple really good books, and I'm getting ready to release one early next year. The podcast is doing okay. The YouTube channel's, getting by. I've got a wonderful assistant I work with, an editor that I work with who's really good. I've got more readers now than ever before, which is all kinds of fun, because I love sharing my books with people because I have so much fun writing them. So I really have no reason to be depressed. But it's this pandemic. And I've been thinking about all of the people who, by the way, there's road work being done outside. So you can tell I have great studio space. I think about all the people who are still going to restaurants, still going to weddings and going to, social events and things. I see it all the time on Facebook. And I know that there are different demographics of people. I know there are different types of people. I know that I, for instance, am old with bad lungs and old and fat with bad lungs. So COVID isn't something I'm going to play around with, but I know other people have other views. I just don't want them getting in my face about it, like without their masks. So I thought one of the things I would do this morning is kind of tell you how I am getting through this period, because none of us thought it would be around this long. I mean, we were told it would take a long time, but we didn't think it would. But 1 month turns into another, turns into June, turns into August, turns into November. And we're stuck here having to live in this half-life. Although that would be fun, especially if it was a Half-Life 3. But okay, sorry. I'm babbling, I think is the right word. So I will ask you to forgive my babbling. But I don't. As you know, I work at home. I write, and my wife works at home, and we don't go out an awful lot. We've been playing it very safe, especially since, even though we've been playing it safe, Vicky actually got it. She was tested positive for it back in August. And we got through it just fine, but we don't want to get it again. So we've been pretty careful. Not going out unnecessarily, not dining out. I don't understand people who think, I'm going to go to a restaurant, take this mask off, the waiter's going to come up, and I'm going to have my mask off, just chatting with the waiter. I mean, at a time of a pandemic, I just can't imagine why people are so capricious, I guess. It just bothers me so much. So I don't go to restaurants. I don't go to weddings. I don't go out. And I'm a little jealous of those who do. But at the same time, I think, for me, I really want to live through this. And I really don't want to be put on a ventilator. And heck, I don't even want to get sick. Death is far from the main issue. I just don't want to get sick. I've been sick. Last year, I was sick for 3 months? With a bronchial infection that, in hindsight, if there was a way for it to have been COVID, I think it was COVID. It was awful, and I felt like I was dying for 3 months, and so I don't want to go through that again. So when I go out for my walk, if I see anybody on the road or on the sidewalk, I'll just walk out in the road. I'm just like, screw it. I don't want to get near people. I don't want to, I don't want to risk anything. But, nearly a year of that takes its toll. And so Vicky has been going a little stir crazy. I thought I would be the first one to crack. So a couple weeks ago, we went up to Lancaster to visit her parents and had a nice visit with them. I wasn't too keen on hanging out in the house with people who, we have not been quarantining with. So I ended up hanging out with Vicky's dad out in the garage and talking out in the garage. It was a little bit more open. I was a little bit more comfortable. And Vicky's dad's really cool, and we get along really well. But Vicky's actually thinking about moving out there. And can you hear that? It's like they're digging up the road right outside of my door. And it's not, it's actually 2 doors down. She's considering moving to Lancaster, and I've never lived outside of Orange County for any real long length of time. So I'm 100% behind the idea. I think it's a great idea. Vicky has lived out in Orange County for many, many years. I mean, we've been living here together for 15, so why don't we live together out in the desert for another 15? And then 15 years after that, maybe we'll move to the mountains. Who knows? But, you know, if it's going to make her a little bit happier, and I've been close to my mom all these years, if she's going to be close to her parents for a change, you know, that'd be really nice for her. Also, we can afford a bigger home and more land and, you know, a little bit more room. I love our condo. I am so comfortable here. I go up to my office and I work. I go into the bedroom and I sleep. I come down here and I don't play PS5 because I don't have a PS5, okay? Because I haven't been able to get a hold of a PS5. I want a PS5. So if you have a PS5, if you want to mail me a PS5, let's talk. Or Xbox Series X, or a new PC, or a car, or a whole lot of money. Let's talk. So I've been having to kind of reel in Vicky a little bit. She's been trying to go out places. She's like, why don't we go here? Why don't we go here? And I'm like, maybe not. I am a big believer in just why not play it safe? Why not? There's going to be a vaccine in about 6 months. They're talking about it now, but please don't get your hopes up. It's going to take some time. We're hoping 6 months. We're hoping next summer. But until then, why not play it safe? Why not take a little bit of caution? I don't understand the people who still, to this day, after 250,000 Americans are dead, who insist that it's a hoax, that masks are meant to control your mind. I don't know how much of this I'm going to edit out. I'm probably going to slap this together pretty poorly. What else? See, the nice thing about being old is I can have hair that looks this shitty and film myself and put it on the internet and not be at all afraid of forever never getting laid again. I'm going to make this real difficult for me to edit together. I don't even know if I did the other thing. So I've been working on rewrites this past week and then this week for the second work of art book, Work of Art, A Reflection of Masks. And God, that thing is so loud. I can't imagine how loud it is for you. I'm going to go up into my studio to edit this, and all I'm going to hear is the drilling. So I'm doing rewrites on Work of Art Book 2, and they're coming along so well. I'm so happy. One of the things about being a writer that nobody really tells you about is how much shit you have to go through. Just as far as how much shit you have to write before you start. It's like if you think about your digestive process, how much shit you have to pass before the really good stuff comes along, you know? Before you start shitting gold. And I know I spent a lot of years where I did not really enjoy my writing at all. I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good enough. And yeah, I had low author self-esteem, I guess. But after having enough, I really started to feel like you know, I was really pulling it together. And I tell you, these last 4 books have been such a joy. Last 4, well, including the next book, because I'm going to include the next book. But just to go over it with you real quick. So I wrote two sequels to Max Dedge, which were just tons of fun and grew the universe just exponentially. It's just so much fun. And I'm doing rewrites on Work of Art, which totally turned the story on its head. From the first book, if you read An Intention of Flowers, A Reflection of Masks, just pivots the whole thing so nicely. Let's see. Little Mike is coming out next year, and I gotta say, I am hopeful of good things from Little Mike. Publishers and agents were terrified of it, but everybody who's read it has loved it. So I'm really hoping that I can get some readership on Little Mike. And then the next book, Up, Time, Down, I'm going to start writing that next year. I'm not going to call it Up, Time, Down. That is a placeholder. But it's a time travel story about someone who goes back and kills all the villains, kills all the evil people. And the way that book is developing, having found the appropriate voice for it, having found the appropriate structure, and how it's going to be really different. I have these books that tend to set themselves apart by being so violent and angry. Last Ditch is one of them. Worm Food Island is one of them. Little Mike is going to be one of them. And Up, Time, Down, and every one gets a little bit crazier and a little bit more psychotic. And it's fun to plumb the depths of the characters and really just ratchet them up. It's a lot of fun. So that's it for me today. I just want to spend a little bit of time with you in the midst of yet another month of this crazy pandemic. And yeah, I'm a little depressed, but I'm going to be fine. I'm surrounded by people who love me. I sat down. Well, I came in yesterday to do one of these, to film this, and the littlest thing threw me off, and I realized just how hard it is for me to sit down and talk to you sometimes. I'm very self-conscious. I don't have a whole lot of self-esteem. So getting in front of a camera and showing how shitty my hair is probably really good for me. Until then, be good to yourself, be kind to others, and I hope you have better hair than me.